Hello, howdy, welcome. As Art Bell would say, good evening or good morning, however the case may be, depending on what time zone you're in, and now whenever you're watching this. Um, yeah, I'm making a video because today's been an interesting day. Um, it is November 6th, so interesting day, to say the least. I've tried to avoid the internet for the most part. I knew it was going to be a bad idea. But also a topic kind of came up that has nothing to do with politics, so I want to get into that real quick. But first, I am drinking, having an F5. It's not the first one I've had tonight. It'll probably be the last one though. So, as with any good beer worth pouring, you got to go slow. This isn't a Coors Light or Miller High Life where you just crack it open and go straight from the can. A little too much head on that one. That's okay. It's all the warm, dried out beer from earlier that's doing it, I think. That's all right. It'll go down in a second. But yeah, today has been interesting, to say the least. All other things aside, I had to run up to main campus, UCO, to take care of some stuff, take care of some things in preparation for next semester. And yeah, to cut to the chase, I got to a point where I just needed to eat some food. So I went and got food, and while I was eating, I was doing browsing on Reddit as usual. And one of the ones I've followed for a while is the podcasters sub. Not necessarily not the podcast or podcasts sub, but one for people who make podcasts, because generally there are sometimes questions about, excuse me, gear, as far as what mics to use, what headphones to use, what programs, etc. And I generally feel qualified to answer those, being that I worked for a major musical instrument brick and mortar retailer nationwide. I don't work nationwide. They are nationwide. Not anymore as of last Saturday, which is kind of what I wanted. But anyway, I'm in the sub because I feel I generally have at least some valuable insight out there. That's gone down, so cheers. F5, very hoppy, bitter. After the first one, it gets a little easier. Anyway, so yeah, I I grabbed lunch. I was eating, was perusing, and a post caught my eye. I thought I would take a look at it just because the title kind of interested me. Really, I was more annoyed at first because there's a number of people on here, you know, like me, who try and dish out good advice, but don't really have many credentials to show or prove, you know, that what they're saying is worth listening to. But and this, I mean, if you're any bit familiar with Reddit, you'll know that things are rated in karma. You know, you post something positive or that people like, and they give you upvotes, and your upvotes means is your karma is the upvotes you've gathered over time, the plus and minus, the overall. And of course, the person who posted this has a total karma of 2. So they're brand new to the website, essentially. Or they're brand new to posting. Anyway, they made this post. It says 10 principles you must in all caps, must consider before podcasting. I'm not going to read through it all because it's a bunch of commercial, corporate, boardroom gobbledygook. And basically the crux of the whole reason I'm even doing this video here right now, is our society is doing this thing lately where, like, you got to turn your hobby into a hustle. You got to turn everything that you do for fun into a money-making scheme, basically. Oh, you like to crochet? Well, you better take commissions and do, you know, just constantly make things to sell on Etsy. You like to paint? Well, you better take commissions and paint, I don't know, weird portraits of people. I don't know what you do. Anyway, but basically this post goes on about, 10 principles you must consider before podcasting. How to launch a podcast that won't flop. And as soon as I read that, I was like, oh my God. I could already tell, like, my eyes did a quick scan of the whole post, and I could already tell I'm not going to enjoy this. Like I said, I was already annoyed from seeing posts like this earlier, and I just finally was, like, blocking those people because, like, a lot of it was just silly stuff. Make sure you give your guests a chance to talk. Yeah. Or one was use silence as a tool. Yeah, I mean, some people get nervous when they know they're, you know, looking at someone or talking to someone, and and if you go quiet, like, you can get the other person to kind of just start talking, keep talking, fill the void. Anyway, I've been annoyed with them. But yeah, this whole post just, you know, at first it starts out fine. You know your niche and focus on that like the back of your hand. Makes sense. Absolutely. If you are that kind of podcast that focuses on a niche subject. It goes on and on about success metrics and podcasting is competitive. use all these things. Build your own wiki. Like use AI to do everything for you. Oh, and don't forget to network like crazy on LinkedIn and promote. Like, so I made a post. I made a comment to this. And I'll read that one verbatim. Just know, going into this, someone basically, their post was, if you're going to start a podcast, it has to be, you have to obsess over every single little detail. You have to focus on getting it out there and growing it and all the, and sure, like if you want a podcast that is meant to be competitive and get ears and eyes on it, sure. But here's my post. Or, and this will sound crazy, just do it for fun. Not everything in life needs to be boiled down to KPIs, which are key performance indicators, metrics, and marketing tactics. You can just do it as a hobby and have fun instead of worrying about gaining X listeners per month, obsessing about downloads versus streams or any other corporate boardroom BS. Remember, podcasting used to be about niche interests, self-expression, and connecting with others. In fact, it still is. It doesn't have to be all these commercial X's and Y's and charts and graphs, Six Sigma synergy crap. In fact, I'd argue it's more worthwhile to focus on doing it for yourself instead of trying to efficiently maximize every little aspect of it. Sure, let people know who may be interested that your podcast exists. If you interview people, yes, reach out or have ways of people reaching out to you so that you can interview them and they can be interviewed. But if you just want to turn the mic on, hit record, much as like I'm doing now, and just talk to yourself, go for it. Just go for it. To say that all of the above things absolutely must be considered before starting a podcast at all is asinine. Like, can you imagine someone who's like, I think I want to start a podcast. I sure like listening to them, but I really want to start, doing them on my own. And they find this and subreddit, and then they find this post first, 10 things you have to do. And it's all this like, you need key performance indicators and you gotta, if you're a real estate company concerned with revenue-based metrics, views become slightly irrelevant. Focus on tracking % of traffic to our CTA or webpage. You're gonna get scared away. Like, who's doing that? Like, that's for companies who like leverage podcasts as a form of advertising. Worry about. Like, yeah, and there are posts every now and then on here and other ones that are about like, oh, how did you get to monetization? How did you get to this stage or that? And like, why are we so worried about that, man? Why are we so worried about it? Like, do it for you. Like, when I was in high school, 2005 to 2007, podcasting existed, but it was nothing like what it is today. It was absolutely a nerd weirdos game. You didn't have every Timmy and Sally wanting to start their own podcast. Like, it just, even in 2009, 2010, like, the very first time me and some friends actually tried to do a podcast, it was nothing like what it is today. I remember, I think NPR might have had a podcast there, but it was basically just, reruns of their nationally broadcasted stuff. It was nothing like the stuff you hear today. So like I remember being there. Like, that's what podcasting was. Like, if you were like, yeah, I have a podcast, people are like, what? A what? A podcast? What is that? It's not like that today, which is kind of cool, but like, yeah, like, I mean, you made a podcast about something you were deeply interested in, or yeah, you talked to people, fielded questions if you were a subject matter expert. I mean, you can't, heck, I don't think you can't go a day if most of your day is spent out in public. Like, if you go to a mall, go to a shopping mall, if you still have one around, if there's still one that's alive near you, visit. And like, I'm talking like a busy one, not a dead one. Dead ones are cool though. I like the dead malls, the ones that are just hanging on by a thread. They're interesting. But if you happen to have a place that is still somehow busy, which we have one here, it's kind of the last one, but if you have one, I'm sure you can't. If you spent 4 hours there, you brushed shoulders, you accidentally like walked past somebody who has a podcast these days. Like they're so common, which is cool, but also these, there's an argument against like saturation, but that also kind of leads into like the corporate, well, we got a commercial. Stop. No. So, so yeah, all of this is to say, like, this is kind of like this is the thesis, the thesis of this video. Not this, but, thesis of the video is you don't have to turn your hobbies into a hustle, right? Like, you don't need to commercialize and capitalize on every single part of your personality. Like, just because you like, just because you collect and have like 16 ant farms around your apartment doesn't mean you need to work at an ant farm store or sell ant farms or online or design your own. Like, no, just have a cool hobby. That's fine. And I know part of that is, if you know me, or you can see the keyboards I have right here, or just barely see the mic. Oh, jeez. Sorry. Or just barely see the mic, in frame. Like I've done music a lot. I make music and produce other people. And I do get paid for it. But that is more like a career choice in a way. I've done it for so long, and I feel I'm good enough at it that to try and make money off of it, it's not a thing. It's not like, it doesn't kill whatever drive I have to do it. I'm not great. I'm getting better. I'm learning. That's why I like it. I can always learn. Always something to learn. But especially in music. But like, I you know, in my free time, I'll draw or paint or illustrate something, and like, I don't need to make money off of that, man. Like, I don't want to force myself to make money off of that. That doesn't sound like fun. That sounds terrible. So why would I do that? That just ruins it. The purpose of a hobby is to take your mind off of the grind of earning money at a job. If you turn your hobby into a job, well, now it's just more work and it's a job, and you're trying to find a hobby to escape that one. Like, I wouldn't even bother with it. So that's the main point I'm trying to drive home. And it's been eating at me all day, like, and such to a point that I'm like, I guess I'm gonna make a video about it. And I wish that you know, we didn't live in the society where people felt pressured to turn things they enjoy into something they enjoy less. Because some people do like the whole, you know, how do I maximize my listeners? How do I reach more people? How do I get more earballs on this? You know, and like, if that's fine, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. You know, but sitting here and like, I'm not gonna network with anybody on LinkedIn. What? I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna look into multi-channel distribution of repurposed content everywhere to fast track reputation building. Get out of my face with that. No. Absolutely not. Do something because you enjoy it. Do something because it brings you joy, because it takes your mind off of all the crap going on around you. It's okay to be sometimes, you know. I have a bad habit personally of you know, absorbing other people's problems as my own. Or at least how, you know, their emotions towards those things. If someone expresses discontent for something that, you know, never crossed my mind, or I just, you know, was lukewarm about, you know, I will find myself being like, yeah, man, maybe that does, maybe I don't like that either. But like, I've been trying to be better about, like I said, absorbing their emotions as my own, because it's not my own. Like, so yeah, don't let society, don't let the world, and don't let yourself feel pressured into turning your hobbies into a hustle. A lot of people do, and they enjoy it, you know, need a little extra side cash. Like, I'm not saying get your bag, as the cool kids say. I'm like, get your bag, man, you know, that bag of money. But like, you know, if you find yourself dreading doing the thing, then just don't do it. I know it's tough in this world, in this day and age, because like, price of everything's going up, but you know, you're lucky if you get a 25-cent raise after like 6 months or something, just depending on what situation you're in. But yeah, I mean, sometimes the peace of mind is worth way more than whatever dollars and cents commoditizing your hobbies could bring. because I see it all too often, you know. It's easy to see posts and memes on Facebook that are, or not Facebook, but Facebook is full of AI garbage that have to do with Jesus and Korean Air stewardesses. At least it did for a while, but you know, like on Instagram, God, Instagram, I see it a lot. Is just and even Instagram unto itself has become this like rat race of like get a bunch of followers because you share a bunch of memes, and then you can sell the page to someone because you've got 120,000 followers. Like, congratulations. I mean, hey, you got, if you're good at it, go for it, I guess. I don't understand it. I mean, I do, but like if you even if you tried to pay me to do something like that, no, I could not be a what do they call it, social media manager for any sort of company. It wouldn't happen. Would not happen. So yeah, let that be that. Don't let society feel like you have to commoditize every single part of your life. You are allowed to exist without worry of does it add to my bottom line? You know, you can just do things that cost a little money, like, you know, painting, buying paints and canvases. You can just do that if it brings you peace of mind, because like I said, that sometimes the peace of mind is worth more than the agony of trying to force yourself to do these things, because it makes you a couple bucks here and there. Like, and that's the thing about some of these hobbies, like it's tough to actually get to a point where it makes more money than it costs to do. Like, yeah, if you're a photographer, I mean, yeah, these days you just buy a digital SLR camera and just go to town. I mean, if you already have a laptop, if you already have, you know, if you get the camera, it'll take some time to pay that off. But yeah, you do a couple of like newlywed photos or graduation photo things or something, do some photo shoots. It'll pay for itself in time, and then everything after that, yeah, it's fine. But you know, if you're an artist, like, yeah, it costs money to get stickers made. So if you're just handing those out for free, well then, you know, that gets tacked onto, you know, are you know, doing one-off paintings? Are you selling your paintings? Are you know, trying to do like murals and stuff? There, you know, a friend of mine, he posted on his Instagram a canvas he finished, and I enjoyed it so much I said, I will just pay you money. I will just let me give you money. And he did, and like, it was great. You know, I think that's the way to do it, is like, if you're an artist in any sort of medium or format, like, yeah, let people know it exists, because you may have someone who's a huge fan of your work. They just may not know it yet. So get it out there, you know. I've bought art from a few friends of mine, and I've given them stuff I've worked on. I just gave it to them because I don't want artwork to be this money-making scheme. So, you know, luckily I have music to fall back on for that. So yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think, if I'm way off base, if I'm dumb, if I look weird in these red glasses. They're messing with my eyes. I don't know how Rick Rubin does it, man. It's this is rough. But it looks cool, so there's that. All right, later.